Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the December 2020 monthly meeting of the Topeka Bar Association. We are coming to you once again this month from Judge Parrish's courtroom at the Shawnee County Courthouse. Today we have a very special presentation. We're going to be unveiling the portraits of three of our newest judges here in Shawnee County, and we'll get to that shortly. But before we do, I want to thank some people that made this possible. That's some people that really pitched in and helped us get this thing put together today. First, I want to thank Judge Parrish for letting us use her courtroom once again. Judge Watson has been a tremendous help throughout this process, as has her assistant, Angela Cox. We very much appreciate what they have done. Court Administrator, Lee Welch, has been very helpful with the technological portions of this, and has been a great help to all of us in putting this together. The IT Director here in Shawnee County, Stephanie Teal, has also been extremely helpful and has made it possible for us to present this to you today. This is the unveiling of the portraits, which is a long tradition here in Shawnee County. The TBA has been involved in procuring, paying for the portraits for our judges that hang here in the courthouse for a very long time. It's one of our I think, important functions and one of the really good things that we do. My understanding from Lee Welch is that there are a couple of policies that typically are followed with respect to these portraits. First, that they do not normally hang in the courtroom where the judge is currently working. The judges do not apparently want to look at themselves while they're conducting their proceedings. So they're hung in a different courtroom until the judge retires. And then when they retire, their portrait is moved, in most cases anyway, to the courtroom where they last practiced, where they last were conducting court. We're going to add three new photographs, three new portraits to the walls of Shawnee County today. Our first portrait will be that of Judge Rachel Pickering. And to introduce Judge Pickering, we're going to have Corey Call come down and address us. Corey?
Thank you. I worked with Judge Pickering at the Appellate Defender Office for many years, and that can be a bit of a challenging job, and you develop a bit of a bunker mentality, and you get to know people pretty well. And it's nice for us to see one of our own crawl out of the bunker and up onto the bench, so we're all very proud of you, Rachel. Before this time, Rachel showed me, or Judge Pickering would say no, Judge Pickering showed me the portrait, and I noticed maybe three things that were missing from the portrait. The first, I think, was a powdered wig. Judge Pickering is a big fan of the British, proud American, born in Texas, after all, and we'll talk to you about St. Louis for as long as you're willing to listen to her talk about St. Louis. But she's a big fan of the British. And so I thought that maybe, I wondered whether she would want the powdered wig, because it's very British. At the same time, Rachel has very good hair. She has nice hair. And so you don't want to cover up the hair with a powdered wig. So but one thing that could be missing would be the powdered wig. The second thing would be her family. Rachel, when I worked with her, she worked long hours, and I'm sure that will continue on the bench. And you can't do that without a supportive family. And I know that she has that. She'll talk to you about them more than she does about St. Louis. And so certainly her family belongs there. The third thing that struck me as odd was that she was by herself, which of course is normal for a judge's portrait. But if you see Rachel, Judge Pickering out in the wild, she is always with somebody, always interacting with someone, or someone is always interacting with her. And as a warning to the new judges and the older judges, Judge Pickering will organize groups small groups of people, lunches, coffees, any sort of social thing that's coming. She's been sequestered down in the basement, and the pandemic has probably put a slow to that, but it's there. She's coming for you and in her groups. So, but with those noted omissions, I give you Judge Rachel Pickering's portrait.
Thank you, Corey. You saw why I chose Corey to introduce me. I told him to do a roast, and he succeeded. There were things that when we prepared for today, he wanted to talk about, but we thought it'd be best that we just keep it amongst ourselves. So thank you, Corey. But the reason why I also chose Corey was because he taught me something very important at the Appellate Defender Office, which is you're only as good as your last case. Corey Call, if you do a Westlaw search, has been behind some fundamental criminal law cases, but he taught me don't rest on that case, move forward on your present client's case. And so I appreciate what I learned from him and that advocacy. So that humility that he taught me was important. 14 months ago today, on October 4th, I was sworn in the investiture. And there were two people I did not thank, and it's been gnawing at me this entire time. There are two women. One is a woman who, when I was the CLE supervisor giving CLEs for the WAT, Women Attorneys Association of Topeka, she gladly would speak when I needed a speaker. And then when I was with the doing CLEs down in Lynchburg for the Kansas Women Attorneys Association, she also jumped in. That's many women who said yes, but one in particular was Natalie Haig, who is an excellent role model for so many women to get out of your comfort zone. And she was there in the audience on October 4th, the courtroom right behind us, and I didn't thank her, and that I wanted to thank her for this. I also wish to thank Kim Parker, who just finished as president for the ABA Criminal Justice Section. She was instrumental in getting me involved in the ABA task force for women in criminal justice, so thank you, Kim. In that time that I took to the bench, I want to thank the judges who've been incredibly helpful, the court staff, but I must pause and thank the Sync Bar for helping me so much. I was sworn in on October 4th. That Monday, October 7th, everything began with cases. And they were there, ready, prepared. And through this pandemic, they have been outstanding. We were up and running in April, and they were there all along. So I want to thank the Sync Bar, the District Attorney's Office, the Guardian ad litems, and the Parents' Council for doing an excellent job. Two quick points, and then I'll sit down. We've had some Shawnee County judges pass in this last year. And recently we lost Judge Mitchell. He was a phenomenal judge who worked in the juvenile and Sync Bar. He left an impression that still stands today. And so I just wanted to acknowledge his passing along with so many others. But his impact that he had in the juvenile and Sync Bar, I hope I can carry some of that forward as a judge in the Child Needed Care Division. And lastly, in the portrait you see, that's actually William Shakespeare. And it's a love of words and quotes. And the last quote I'm going to say is from a U.S. Supreme Court Justice who died in September. And she said, "So often in life, things that you regard as an impediment turn out to be great, good fortune." And that was Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg who said that. And I wanted to, when seeing her words, I thought of all the impediments that we here in Shawnee County Court has overcome since this pandemic and are still striving for. And I believe we can look back 10 years from now with pride at the work done by the judges, court staff, clerk's office, law enforcement, and the Shawnee County Bar as to our resilience, resourcefulness, and dedication to the citizens of Kansas. So with that, I think we will have great good fortune as we get through this. And so thank you for letting me be part of the team.
Our next portrait is the portrait of Judge Penny Moylan. And the person that will help us unveil that portrait is somebody who knows her pretty well. That's her husband, Dan. So Dan, if you come forth, introduce Judge Moylan.
Thank you and welcome. Good afternoon. Thanks to the TBA, it's an honor to be a part of this tradition and we really appreciate that. One of the things when Penny came home and told me about a portrait, it reminded me of something about her that is something I'd like to talk about a little bit here, and it's one of the things that drives her in everything she does. It's her drive to be the best she can be. Now, not necessarily the best, but the best she can be. So that drive is seen in all of her parts of her life, but every part of her life, her professional, her business, her friends, faith, family, everything she does, that is really what drives her, and she is driven to be the best that she can be in all of those areas. And it's interesting to see that in all of the things that she does and how that plays out. For 25 years, I've been married to her and really gotten to see that quite a bit. So when she starts her process, she wants to be prepared for it. One of the things that would be how that would tie into the portrait, though, it sometimes is a little bit of a detriment for her because of the fact that she wants that photo to be the best it can be. And she's got a history of being very particular about how her photos look and what she sees in them. She really is hypercritical of the photos that she takes. Now, I personally think that they come out pretty good, but every now and then she'll have her eyes closed at the wrong time and things of that nature. So it can cause some problems in that area, but overall it's the drive, and anybody that's been around her can attest to the fact that she's driven that way to be the best she can be. And that when it comes to being a friend or part of the family, she's driven that way, and it's very noticeable. It's a distinct feature that she has, and it's living her life with gusto. It does remind me of Colossians 3, where the Bible tells us to live or do everything with all your heart as if for the Lord. So she works very hard to do that. So with that, let's take a look at the photo and see what Gary, you want to help me? This is Jeremiah, my son, by the way. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Dan. That means a lot to me that you did my introduction today and what you said. I know that's not something that you enjoy doing. I have to say that doing a portrait unveiling is a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit embarrassing, but when I think about it, it really is an honor and a privilege. And so first of all, I'm really thankful to the Topeka Bar Association for this long-standing tradition, for paying for these beautiful portraits that hang in our courtroom. So thank you very much to the TBA for doing that. I've been on the bench now for just a little bit over a year, and my desire to become a judge really was to help people. And as I've been reflecting back this past year and whether or not I've been of any help, I realized that I might not have been of help, but I've received a lot of help this past year. And I'd like to talk about that for just a few minutes. First of all, my family and friends. This has been an interesting year to say the least. Regardless of the pandemic, this is a new venture for me, for my family. It's taken me outside of my comfort zone, and my family and my friends have just been a really safe haven of support, encouragement, lots of prayers, and I'm thankful for the help that they provided me this past year. Secondly, the judges in this amazing Shawnee County Courthouse. whether it's the criminal judges that I call on probably an almost daily basis, or when they won't answer the call, run down to their chambers to ask questions. They've been beyond helpful to me. And that just isn't limited to the criminal judges. Every single judge in this courthouse, regardless of the assignment they've had, have provided some help to myself, either through covering dockets or offering up their courtrooms, and just really appreciative of all the help. Then I'd be really remiss if I didn't talk about my phenomenal assistant, Diane Brown. I told her last week when it was our year anniversary that I wasn't sure that I would have made it through this past year without her assistance. Her work ethic, her can-do attitude, her very compassionate, kind, but firm boundaries have been amazing. And so I really appreciate all the help that you provided, Diane. Then it comes to the courthouse employees, all the way from court administration to people in court services to the clerk's office, the help that they have provided to us, explaining things, going out of their way to make sure we have what we need. I just, once again, I'm amazed by the public servants that work in this courthouse and their hearts and their desire to help not just the public, but the people that work here as well. Then I kept on thinking about the help that I provided, and it goes to the attorneys that practice in front of me, the attorneys in the district attorney's office, the attorneys on the misdemeanor appointed counsel. They have helped me in sort of sometimes explaining things to me during the middle of a hearing. And then as I've sort of learned my way around and had to make some changes to things, they've been beyond helpful in accommodating me, treating me with kindness and respect and compassion, and just really being flexible as we change some things. Again, I'm completely just really impressed by the quality of people that work on both sides of the cases that I've been here, and their desire, both sides, to really be public servants and to have a desire to help their clients, whether it's the state or the defendants. I can't remember if I mentioned with court employees, hopefully I said IT, because they've been a huge help. Lastly, I would be really remiss if I didn't also mention the help that I've received from the people that have appeared in front of me this past year, whether it's defendants or whether it's victims. They've helped really increase my understanding of the challenges that people that are in our criminal justice system face. Challenges involved around mental health, addiction, lack of resources, and opportunities in life. I think they've helped me become a more empathetic person. They've helped me become more grateful for the opportunities I've had. And they've helped me want to really become the very best judge that I can be. A judge that is fair, a judge that is compassionate, but a judge that always tries to do the right thing under the circumstances and the law of the case. And so, again, I want to thank the Topeka Bar Association for this opportunity today. Thank you, Dan, and thank you all.
Our third and final portrait that will be unveiled today is the portrait of Judge Dougherty-Bichsel. And to help with the unveiling of that portrait is Michelle Slinkard. Michelle?
I'm Michelle Slinkard, and I'm a friend of Lori's. I was honored when Lori asked me to introduce her today. She tells me I'm one of her best friends, but we'll see after today. But in all honesty, I'm very proud of you, Lori, and I think of you like a sister. I've known Lori now for over 10 years. Before I met Lori, she was in Arizona. She graduated from the University of Arizona, and then she subsequently graduated from the University of Kansas School of Law. Family brought Lori to Kansas. After law school, Lori has held a wide variety of positions. She worked in 2 district attorney's offices. She was the prosecutor for the metropolis of Maple Hill. She was the associate litigation counsel for the Board of Healing Arts. She was assistant city attorney in the litigation division here in the city of Topeka. Then she went into private practice. After private practice, she went to the Department of Aging and Disability as senior counsel. And because she still had energy after all of that, she became the City of Topeka Municipal Court Judge. And because all of that was still not enough, she aimed her sights even higher and became your newest Shawnee County District Court Judge. As is evidenced by all of her accomplishments at such a young age, Lori is very bright and extremely driven. She is dedicated and she is an extremely hard worker. She puts 100% into everything she does. Yet she still has enough energy, love, and devotion to go home and share those qualities with her family every night. Family is very important to Lori. She is married Brandon Bichsel. They have 2 wonderful boys, Tyler and Liam. These 2 boys bring absolute joy to Lori. I've gotten to know Lori and her family very well over the years. These are the 2 of the best kids you will ever meet. You can tell that they are really loving and caring, and they have really excellent role models with both Brandon and Lori. As I mentioned, I've known Lori now for more than a decade. We travel together. We're those people that go to Texas in the summer and Chicago in December. And but for the pandemic, we'd be in Chicago right now, probably eating Giordano's pizza. I'm hoping that we can make up for our lost travels next year. At this point, I have still failed to get Lori on a cruise boat because she has to see land at all times. But I'm hoping one of these days I get you on that cruise boat. I thought that there might be some fun facts that you should probably know about Lori. The first thing, and it's probably for those attorneys that practice in front of her, most importantly, do not talk to Lori until she has had her morning coffee. No words, she needs her coffee first. She lives in Green Acres, which I find just very ironic. You know, the 1960s sitcom, she literally lives there. She lives in the country. She has chickens that she has named after the US Supreme Court justices. She has 2 dogs and is 1 cat short of being called the cat lady at this point. Fun fact number 3, asked to see her Bank of America debit card. The picture was taken when she was 15 years old. She still looks exactly the same. Also a good fun fact to know about Lori, if you are caught in a snowstorm in Chicago in the middle of December in Lincoln Park Zoo, she will hide out with you in a plastic log until you can feel your fingers again. The only cuisine I have found that Lori truly enjoys is Peruvian food, but she is a fantastic cook. She has also helped build at least 1 home for Habitat for Humanity. I'm not sure it's still standing, and I would not trust her with any sharp objects. I hope that gives you a small glimpse of who Lori is. I hope you all truly enjoy her as much as I have. I consider her like a sister to me. I'm very proud of you. Thank you for allowing me the honor to do this today. And we shall look at Lori's picture here that will hang on these walls forever now.
Thank you, Michelle, for the introduction today. We're still friends, and minutes after it. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. In my defense, I try and drink coffee on my commute here, so that I'm halfway decent by the time you see me, but I make no promises. So to the TBA, thank you very much for this judicial portrait, and to Mark at Bushers Photography. I'm especially grateful for, as you put in our session, a little extra sleep under my eyes and a little more relaxed forehead. A good photographer is truly a girl's best friend. I'd like to thank my family and friends, and especially my husband, Brandon. My family and friends, you know who you are, you know how amazing you are, and I wouldn't be in this position today without your encouragement, support, and borderline harassment to always work harder and be better than I was the day before. I am honored to be here with my two outstanding colleagues, Judges Moylan and Pickering. I'm proud to have my portrait included among so many people who have broken barriers and set out to follow the law, no matter how challenging the issues or times. And we really see that right now with the pandemic. Coming in May 28th, I had no idea what I was in store for. I don't think anybody had any idea what we were in store for, but the patience and the grace that the Bar Association has shown me, and especially the fabulous domestic bar, has been so helpful and so appreciated. Every one of my colleagues, whether it's my fellow judges, court personnel, Veronica, my assistant, who is amazing, everybody has been willing to offer insight, experience, advice that I have as I've taken on this new role. And it's amazing to be in a position where you have that support. Something as simple as I really like this blue pen, and the next day a box shows up on my desk. Little things like that are so helpful as we take on this role. I look forward to continuing to work with all of you as we strive to uphold justice and to serve our community. I don't have much to say. It's very hard to follow these people. They have done an amazing job. I echo their sentiments as to how much we really appreciate the support that we get from our community. Whether it's the people that appear in front of us, the pro se people, the represented people, just thank you. I don't have anything else but thank you for this opportunity. So with that, please enjoy your holiday season. Be well, wear your mask, social distance, and I look forward to meeting you without masks in the coming future.
I want to add my congratulations to these three judges. Whenever I come to one of these ceremonies, I'm taken back to a speech that was made years ago by Judge Tice. And actually it was a eulogy. It was at the funeral of Judge Vickers, E. Newton Vickers, who was one of the great judges in the history of this county, known for his fairness, the way he treated people with courtesy, respect. And his portrait was hanging in Judge Tice's court. And Judge Tice said that every time he came out and saw that portrait, that it was an inspiration to him, because he thought the world of Judge Vickers. And so he said it made him a better judge. It made him want to treat people with the kind of kindness, courtesy, and respect that Judge Vickers was famous for. So you all will now be inspiring other judges and attorneys and litigants from this point on. Judge Dougherty-Bichsel, I guess you'll be 15 forever now on the walls of the Shawnee County Courthouse. Before we leave you today, I do want to remind you that we have a couple of very good upcoming meetings. Our next meeting will be on January 8th, 2021, when the Kansas Task Force on Well-Being will present a program on New Year, New Me. And that's something that you want to see. You will need to register for this program because it carries 1 hour of CLE with it. And then on February 5th, 2021, Chris Gunn will present a CLE on election law and we'll discuss the 2020 election, which should be very, very interesting. Again, thank you all for joining us. Congratulations, judges, and plan to see you all again on January 8th, which will be a webinar format. We will no longer be here at the courthouse, unfortunately, but we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us.